Goertzel here. It's December 31st, 2021. I'm about to celebrate one more New Year's Day, and I wanted to share just a few minutes of thoughts on where we are now at the end of 2021, the beginning of 2022, in terms of SingularityNET and the progress toward beneficial, decentralized, democratic, artificial, general intelligence. My life is mostly occupied with sitting at the computer, working really hard on the SingularityNET, OpenCog, Hyperon, and related technologies. These last few days, I've taken a few days off and been spending some time out in nature, both cooking up new math and algorithmic thoughts, but also reflecting more deeply on everything I'm doing in my work life, and really where we are now, what direction things are going in. Not surprisingly, the more I reflect on what we're doing with SingularityNET and the whole ecosystem and the associated array of technologies, the more incredibly excited I get. I've been thinking a bit about a saying that pops up a lot among the parents of small children. So I have a 3-year-old about to turn 4 and a 10-month-old. They're my 4th and 5th children. I have 3 others are already fully grown up and out there in the world. But there's a saying among parents of young children that the days are long but the years are short, and it occurred to me that really applies in advanced technology development quite well. When I look at where we are now compared to where we were when I started my professional career as a mathematician and AI guy in the late 80s, let alone compared to where we were when I first started thinking about AGI and robotics and nanotech and longevity and brain-computer interfacing and so forth in the early 70s. When I look at how far we've come since those prior decades, it's incredible, right? I mean, think about it. Through most of human history, the world was exactly the same for a whole human being's lifetime. The natural world was the same, society was the same, the technological world was the same, individual people were born and died, the weather shifted, whereas now in the last few decades there's been multiple scientific and technological revolutions, as well as multiple cultural revolutions, all layered on top of each other. Quite amazing, the progress that we've made. And think about where computer vision was in 2013, or where natural language processing was in 2016, and how much advance has been made since then. I mean, when I first started studying biology in the 80s, the idea of sequencing the human genome was some far-off science fictional dream. That's the years are short part, right? The days are long part is it can seem at times like a bit of a slog to get from one step to the next. I mean, we launched OpenCog project in 2008, building on software code we built in Novamenti Cognition Engine in 2001. We've been working on integrating, neural nets, reasoning, evolutionary learning, probabilistic programming on a distributed knowledge metagraph framework for quite some time. We still haven't achieved AGI yet. We've published a lot of papers. We've made some interesting prototypes, but there's still a long way to go. Like, why does it have to take so many years? SingularityNET project, we launched in late 2017 with a vision of using blockchain to create a decentralized, democratic, participatory framework for the world's AI, both narrow AI and then AGI. We started really building out the scalable version of the platform through 2018. Well, here we are, end of 2021, on the one hand, yeah, we have a great platform now, and it's about to become far greater as we port it onto Cardano off of Ethereum in this next year. On the other hand, I mean, what percentage of the world's AI ecosystem is running on decentralized democratic networks, right? It's very, very small. The global AI ecosystem is still dominated by big tech, closely allied with big government. You know, why we've been at it for several years, and we're still at the early stages of making inroads on really dominating and conquering the global AI ecosystem, right? So that's the days are long part, and you could even say the months and years are long, but the decades are short in the advanced technology development context. When you're in the thick of working on these technologies, it really it can seem like a very long series of tedious and difficult steps. We go forward a bit, you reverse a bit, to realize things that seem very, very clear in your mind from the outset. On the other hand, if you take a step back and look at what's evolved over, say, the last couple of decades through the course of my own career, it's just incredible. And I think the human mind plays a lot of tricks on human beings, and our perception of how things progress has as much to do with our own emotional situatedness as it does with the technological facts of things. And if I make my best effort to look objectively at where we are right now, while some of the micro level steps can be frustrating, and I wish they would go faster, what I can see is we're at an astoundingly exciting and promising place right now. Looking in the AI field, I've said before, we're nearing the end of the first of three AI revolutions: the narrow AI revolution, an AGI revolution, and the ASI, artificial superintelligence revolution. We've seen, a wave of progress in computer vision from 2014 to 17, a wave of progress in natural language processing from say 2017, 18 to today. These waves of progress in specific subfields of narrow AI, they're bringing us through a narrow AI revolution. This transition, narrow AI, from being a research pursuit to being a major linchpin of every global industry. Next step will be the AGI revolution. We're going to see most likely a wave of progress of 3 or 4 years when AGI goes from being a research pursuit to a linchpin of every global industry. And when will this AGI revolution be triggered? We can't say with precision. One can never predict the progress of anything from research to commercialization with exactitude, but this AGI revolution could easily be triggered within, say, the next 2 to 5 years. Could be the next 5 to 10 years. It's not going to be 50 or 100 years unless we see, a World War III or some insane cataclysm. We're really quite close to the boundary between the narrow AI revolution and the AGI revolution. And once the AGI revolution is there, I don't think it's going to be all that long before the superintelligence revolution is triggered. What do you need to get from AGI to superintelligence? You need an AGI that can do some computer science and math and can reflect on its own self and can revise its own code and improve itself, then uplift itself from human level general intelligence to superintelligence through its own technical understanding, right? So we're poised between narrow AI and the start of the AGI revolution. Incredibly amazing, exciting time. Of course, if you look at it with a microscope, which is what those of us doing the technical work have to do, if you look with a microscope, it's step by step by step. I mean, we're building OpenCog Hyperon. We're building a new programming language called Meta. We're building a new distributed version of OpenCog's AtomSpace metagraph knowledge store. We're integrating these things with SingularityNET platform. We're creating a commercial entity called true AGI that allows us to deliver Hyperon services to meet the needs of companies at all different scales, leveraging SingularityNET platform. There's a lot of little pieces, but at the bigger picture scale, I mean, we're right there on the cusp of AGI revolution. And in terms of SingularityNET, it's an incredibly exciting place for us to be. I mean, we're at the intersection of this incredible advance in the AI world with the incredible advance in the blockchain world. And again, everyone who struggled with MetaMask and insane Ethereum gas fees and, you know, the volatility in cryptocurrency prices across the board, it can seem like a lot of limitations, a lot of crazy ups and downs, a lot of bugs and weird problems in the blockchain and crypto world. On the other hand, you know, if you take a step back and look at it, it hasn't been all that long in human history since Bitcoin was launched, right? It hasn't been that long in human history at all since the first smart contract was written. I mean, blockchain technology has come along incredibly rapidly in the scheme of things. And, you know, we're now at the stage where blockchain networks are just transitioning into real usability, right? I mean, with Cardano network, which obviously I love greatly, and we're throwing SingularityNet in with Cardano to a large degree. We're porting SingularityNet platform onto Cardano. I think Charles Hoskinson and his colleagues have an amazing vision, and they have a solid platform that really has potential to serve as a decentralized infrastructure for, you know, every sector of the world economy. So there's Cardano, but while I think Cardano is the best prospect out there, I mean, if Cardano were wiped from the face of the earth, I mean, you know, we have Algorand, which is quite solid. Ethereum 2.0, you know, not going as fast as one would like, perhaps, but many brilliant people working on it. It's coming along. I mean, you have Elrond, you have long list of blockchain projects that are moving blockchain to the next level of really becoming practical and usable. And I've listed only a small fraction just now because it's not the focus of this message. So, but we're at a point in the development of blockchain technologies where we're just now barely seeing the potential of decentralized networks with decentralized democratic ownership, with respect for data sovereignty and anonymity. We're just barely seeing the point where this sort of network becomes a practical way to deploy and build applications and to do stuff. And the intersection of this with SingularityNet, with AI is incredibly exciting, right? Because it means we're looking at the transition from narrow AI to AGI occurring together and coupled with the transition to having decentralized, democratically controlled, privacy protecting networks that actually work. And what this means is that when AGI is rolled out for the first time, general intelligence that can really think, imagine, dream, generalize like humans, I mean, then there's a prospect to do it in a way that's, you know, spiritually more like Linux or the internet than it is like what big tech companies or big government are doing. So this combination of, you know, exponential growth trends in AGI technology and in blockchain technology, it's an incredible time to be alive. Of course, it's complicated to coordinate these two aspects as we see, you know, plunging into the details of make SingularityNet work on Plutus, which is Cardano's smart contract language, make OpenCog Hyperon, which is my best attempt at creating an AGI, work on top of SingularityNet on top of Plutus. And this leads you in all sorts of interesting directions. I mean, as one example, I've been looking at how would you make a custom side chain of Cardano that's specialized for SingularityNet and Hyperon. So you're still running Plutus smart contracts, but you may have, special custom consensus and other mechanisms to accelerate decentralized AI further. I mean, when you look into the details, there's a lot there. It's both exciting and at times overwhelming, but we're really right at the cusp of revolutions in these two areas of AGI and blockchain, and being able to help effectuate these revolutions in a coordinated ways. It's incredibly exciting. And then what's even more exciting, of course, is this is coupled with revolutions in so many different areas. So you look in biology, for example, we're just now pulling together knowledge about what causes disease in every organ of the human body and what causes humans to get old and die. Since the Human Genome Project, knowledge has been progressing tremendously, and systems biology is really just poised at the point where it's going to be able to pull together all this different knowledge that's emerged in the couple decades following the Human Genome Project to form a comprehensive understanding of health and sickness, right? And so you have this emergence of systems biology and genomics occurring, coupled together with the transition from narrow AI to AGI, and coupled together with the emergence of decentralized blockchain networks that really function. And I mean, what can come out of this is human health, human longevity, guided by AI and controlled in a way that is distributed and decentralized. So it's not big pharma or big government that controls our health and our life, but it's all of us involved in the decentralized blockchain-based networks that host the AI that's analyzing the biological data that's helping us figure out how to live longer and be healthier. Now we're trying to help with this with the Rejuve project, rejuve.io, which is a SingularityNet spin-off project. But of course there's many others working at the intersection of AI and medicine, or blockchain and medicine, and we're seeing just an upsurge of cross-connectivity among these different exponentially accelerating areas of technology. You could look at social media, say that the same way. There's more and more recognition that social media technologies like, say, Facebook, Twitter, WeChat, and so forth they're in a way bringing humanity together into an emerging global brain, where the thought processes are happening on the scale of many different people interacting with each other as much as within any one person's brain. On the other hand, it's increasingly realized that having these large tech companies with their highly specific, mostly advertising-focused business models, and their ties with government intelligence agencies, having these tech companies mediate the thought processes of this emerging global brain may not be the cleverest thing, right? So, I think the need for decentralized social media is becoming clear. Charles Hoskins and I have talked about this a bunch. We have a new project called Mindplex coming out of the SingularityNet ecosystem, which is a sort of futurist news framework and thought acceleration framework that will allow us to prototype a number of decentralized social media related tools. But again, beyond my own particular projects, you're going to see a great flourishing of creativity in the area of decentralized social media, which, if everything goes well, if it's rolled out correctly, if the right network effects are seeded, then this can lead to a global brain that brings human and AI together in a democratic, decentralized, truly participatory way, rather than a manner controlled by corporate overlords and outmoded greed-focused business models. So there's, I've mentioned AI and biomedicine and social media, but you could go through a huge list of other verticals. I mean, finance needs overhauling, and Singularity DAO, has been launching product after product since we launched that project in May of 2021. With the goal of bringing AI and decentralization to the financial ecosystem in a way that can ease the growth of new technology projects in every vertical market. And Singularity DAO, I think, can be a financial engine that can help to grow any exciting new technology project which is leveraging blockchain technologies. I mean, like Rejuve and Mindplex and SingularityNET, and then like hundreds and thousands of other projects that other people will come up with. NewNet, a project we spun out of SingularityNET just a few months ago. This allows every processing device in the world, including the phone that I'm recording this video on, and my laptop, and the switches in the telephone company's network, and the server farms, sitting on data centers all around the planet. It allows all of this hardware to be pulled in an agile and adaptive way to help fuel decentralized AI networks. Just to mention a vertical where I don't have a project yet, I'm in brain-computer interfacing. Again, Elon Musk's Neuralink gets a lot of attention, but there's a dozen other really cool research projects that are advancing brain-computer interfacing. And again, at the micro level, it's step by step by step. BCI now is largely about allowing sensory and motoric prosthetics for disabled people, which is a very laudable thing to be doing. But the same technology, it's working toward far more general capabilities to interface between brains and computers, which will allow us to jack into the global brain in ways that are more powerful than social media, and ways that are more powerful than any of the computers we're using today. BCI also advancing exponentially alongside medicine, alongside decentralized social media, alongside AI, alongside decentralized computer processing networks, alongside core blockchain technology. And one more ingredient here that I've got to mention is virtual reality technologies. This has been something that has been about to explode at least since the 1980s. I think we're now finally there. Just like computer vision went from research to sort of global industry domination between 2014 and 17. I mean, now with computer processors and cameras being what they are, we're not quite there yet, but we're at most a few years off from virtual realities and metaverses finally fulfilling the promise they've had for so long. And I've been working on this a bunch myself recently in collaboration with Hanson Robotics in a project called Sophiaverse, a virtual world where Sophia, the robot, in a virtual avatar incarnation, and all sorts of other AI systems, some looking like humanoid robots, some embedded in the whole virtual world, some as other sorts of characters. AI systems and humans together in this virtual world can interact, both to provide entertaining experience for the humans and education for humans, but also to provide the virtual world playground where the AIs can learn in a way that doesn't hit all the obstacles that you still have with physical robots right now. So again, virtual world technologies, metaverses, Sophiaverse, and a whole bunch of other exciting stuff happening. We're in the early stages, but palpably in the early stages of some amazing exponential advances. And I mentioned robotics along the way there. We've got the Hanson robots like Sophia, who I just mentioned. Again, looking at it hour by hour, day by day, month by month, it can be slow-paced. You know, Sophia robot was created in 2015. David Hansen created his first humanoid robots a decade before that. There's a bunch of Sophia robots now. There's Sophia's little sister Grace, who's out there, who we're developing through Awakening Health, a joint venture of SingularityNET and Hansen Robotics, as an elder care robot. You know, where the robots are getting better and better. They're not yet scaled up, and we don't yet have, you know, millions and billions of humanoid robots walking down the street. We don't yet have a humanoid robot that can pick up the mess on the floor in my house, nor that can, you know, climb down the trail on these cliffs behind me here, right? So in a way, yeah, we've been screwing with these humanoid robots for a while, and we still don't have that many of them, and there's still pretty clear limitations in what they can do. On the other hand, like, you know, wow, there was no Sophia when I was a kid. There was no Sophia when I got my PhD. You know, when my grandfather passed away, he spent the last few years of his life in an elder care facility. This was, 13 years ago or so. There was no possibility, even on a pilot program level, to have a humanoid robot like Grace, you know, sitting by his bedside, talking to him in the elder care facility. So, you know, in the bigger picture, the progress that's been made with robots is incredible, and the potential to take, you know, what's learned from humanoid robots like Grace and Sophia, and what's learned by, you know, avatar intelligences in a virtual reality like Sophiaverse, and have the learning gained by real robots and learning gained by virtual AI avatars, have that operate together synergetically in a decentralized AI mind of, you know, OpenCog Hyperon running on SingularityNET, running on Cardano, with processing running on NewNet. I mean, all these ingredients, they weren't even remotely there one or two decades ago, and the fact that these things exist at all right now and are being moved toward maturity is absolutely incredible. So I'm gonna stop now and go back to my last day or so of reflection and recreation before plunging back full on into my usual, like, 100+ hours a week work routine on decentralized AGI. But I just wanna share one more thought here. When I look across all these different initiatives in the SingularityNET ecosystem that I've somewhat unsystematically run through here, and when I think about what we need to move this all forward into 2022 in the optimal way, I mean, I think we're queued up for incredible progress with SingularityNET and all these other ecosystem projects that I've reviewed. But the one ingredient that can really help make all these an even more tremendous success is the community, and it's the growth and expansion of our human community. I mean, we're looking at building human level AGIs and minds that go far beyond humanity, and we're looking at how to jack our brains into these so that we can become one with them in ways that we cannot now even understand. But at this stage, all these miracles are being worked by human beings. I mean, using advanced technologies, glomming together into global brain networks of various sorts. But all these miracles are being worked by humans like us, working together, like flesh and blood people with heads and arms and fingers and so forth. And, you know, we need to expand the SingularityNET community more and more to include more and more people from different walks of life with different kinds of expertise. And by growing the size and diversity of our community, we're going to be able to make all the ecosystem projects I've mentioned in this unsystematic little cliffside rant, plus a whole bunch of other things I haven't mentioned and haven't even imagined yet. We're going to be able to make all these happen. And, you know, there's a lot of ways to grow a community in SingularityNET. We're pursuing a lot of different fronts at once. One thing I want to mention finally is the deep funding program, Decentralized Ecosystem Project funding program. And we're going to be putting a lot of tokens into this. So a lot of the AGI X on ADA, on Cardano platform tokens that we're going to be releasing on the Cardano platform throughout this year, as specified in SingularityNET phase 2 plans. We're going to be putting these not into projects come up with by myself and the other SingularityNET founders. What deep funding is oriented toward is taking some newly minted AGIX on ADA tokens and having the SingularityNET community vote on which of the community's proposed projects to deliver tokens to. So this is a pretty sizable program that we're creating to empower the community to allocate tokens to community projects that the community believes will drive us toward beneficial decentralized AGI using the SingularityNET platform as a tool. So yeah, deep funding may be a very powerful method for growing community and growing traction on the platform. You can expect a lot of announcements on that in the early weeks of 2022, but of course it's not the whole story. So I'm sort of throwing this out to all of you who care enough about SingularityNET to have listened to this long New Year's message from me. I mean, to whatever extent you can help with any of the particular projects I've described, with the core SingularityNET platform, fantastic. I mean, we can use developers, we can use marketers, we can use graphic artists, we can use all sorts of different people coming into the ecosystem. But beyond that, the extent to which you can help us to just grow our community and pull more and more people into this shared pursuit to create beneficial AGI. Every new person you help pull into our community, you're helping increase the odds that we can create a beneficial technological singularity that's good for all sentient beings, including human beings, existing animals and plants, and including whatever new sentiences that we cook up. Because I want to bring things back as the final point here to the core reason that I've founded SingularityNET. I mean, it's not that I had a great desire to be the CEO of a blockchain company. Honestly, I'd rather hang out with my family and work on mathematics and writing and play the piano, right? I mean, the reason I'm doing what I'm doing, running SingularityNET, is I see that where we are now in terms of the growth of so many different coordinated technologies, where we are now in human history, we're on the cusp of a technological singularity, and I've tried to convey how multiple, coordinated, cross-connecting aspects of science and technology are all on the cusp of incredible explosion, right? And so that's an amazing point in history at which all of us are alive, but it's also a sort of choice point, because choices that we make now, we can direct this singularitarian technological explosion toward benefit for all sentient beings, or it could be directed toward the benefit of quite narrow groups who own advanced technologies and want to develop them for their own greedy purposes. And my strong feeling is, if singularitarian technologies are developed out of selfishness, greed, and ego, and by institutions that embody selfishness, greed, and ego, what we're going to get is not the most friendly possible technological singularity, not good for human beings, not good for the planet, and probably not good for the state of consciousness of the artificial minds that get created either. Whereas if we can pull off a technological singularity with all these coordinated threads of tech development, if we can pull this off in a way that's motivated by, democracy, participation, compassion, love, working together, if we can pull off a technological singularity with this sort of value and motivation behind it, I mean, then not only will that be for the best for us humans and for the planet we live on, it will be for the best for whatever artificial minds or global brain minds or hybrid human computer minds come out of the singularity. So I mean, the reason I'm doing this is I think we're at a point where AGI and other technologies are just crystallizing together into something that's both human and post-human. And I think that we're at a point where we can direct this in a beneficial way. And, you know, decentralized infrastructure like we're making in SingularityNET, it's certainly not all of what you need there, but it's really it's a key point that needs to be there for all this to come about beneficially. And that's why I'm working on this, and that's why I'm asking you to, you know, help us however you can plunge into one of our projects as an open source developer, you know, blog about what we're doing and the values and mission and why it's important, or, you know, tell your friends about it. Help us grow our community, because the human community is really what is going to make all this possible. So yeah, those who listened to the end, thanks for listening. I'm going to go back to the rest of my day now and want to wish everyone a incredibly happy New Year. 2021 has been a amazingly fun and exciting year for me. Also a very weird year in some ways with the pandemic and whatnot. And I'm looking forward to 2022 in so many ways. I think we're going to make legendary progress on AGI and SingularityNet and in so many different fronts. And I'm really excited to have such an amazing and growing community be a part of this along with me.